Yes, hello everyone. Welcome to your biology classroom. I am Adetunji, your biology tutor. To our returning viewers, welcome back to your channel. To our new viewers, welcome to our channel as well. Please do well to press the subscribe button, turn on the notification button, press the like and share button. As you have all known that we are in the season of UPEP 2025 and examinations have been written so far. So very soon, maybe tomorrow, biology practical will be written. Biology theory has been done last week, so this week biology practical will be written, and we have specimens. Specimen runs from Specimen A, head of cockroach with antenna; Specimen B, spider; Specimen C, frog or toad; and we have our Specimen D to be tomato, Specimen E, mango; Specimen F, groundnut; and the last Specimen G, maize. As you have all known that in this channel, what we do is that we work on any information we have to help and to assist our viewers, especially those that are writing the particular examination. Our willing to source for information and likewise to give it out to you because you are there because of us, and likewise we are here because of you. So without wasting time now, these are the possible and likely questions that we are expecting on these specimens, and here we are going to start treating them one after the other. Now, question 1A says we should identify the kingdom, the phylum and class of the organisms with Specimen A. Identify the kingdom, the phylum and the class of the organism with Specimen A. If you check Specimen A is head of cockroach with antenna. Definitely, in this particular situation, we are referring to the cockroach there now. Now, what is the kingdom, phylum, and the class of cockroach? I and you also will know that when you talk about cockroach, is an animal, so it belongs to the kingdom of Animalia, and the phylum is phylum Arthropoda, while the class is a class of the Insecta. I will still show us comprehensively where I put the solutions, but we are still doing the analysis. Like I said, Specimen A, the kingdom is Animalia, the phylum is Arthropoda, and the class is Insecta. I think that one settled the question number 1A. Now question 1B said that we should state two visible external features of the Specimen A that are used for sensory functions. State two visible external features. Please do well to make sure you watch the video from beginning to the end. You are the one writing the examination, and these are the informations that you need for that examination, so don't skip any of the information, because along the way we still be adding some information as we are receiving any update. So please do well to stay tuned and be watching. If I were you, pick up your book and be writing, so that you have the content comprehensively. State two visible external features of the Specimen A that are used for sensory functions. That's the question. When you talk about sensory functions, you are talking about the antenna, because when you talk about the head, you are talking about the head of the cockroach with the antenna. Your focus about the antenna is very sensitive, and you know what it means. But because I don't want to waste our time, let me just show you the way I put it there, and I will explain it from there. I said number one, I said when you talk about it, look at the antenna I mentioned. I said long, slender antenna for what? For detecting smell, touch, and vibration. That is the feature. When you talk about the head of cockroach, you have the antenna there, you have the eyes there. What's the function of the eyes? was the function of the antenna. The function of the antenna, the feature is long or slender. Anyway, you prefer, if you can write long, slender antenna for detecting smell. That's the rule. You also use it to detect touch and likewise the vibration. What about the eyes? Eyes are another feature on the head, and it is used to what? For wide angle vision or wide vision, and I call it. Because of time, let me just quickly go to question C. Question C. Identify the parts of mouthpart present and state their functions. When you talk about all these organisms, especially in the family of insect and the likes, we have different mouth type. Now, so for this one that we call cockroach, what is the mouth? On that head again, you also see the part of the mouth. So what's the type of the mouth present, and likewise I state the function comprehensively. So the type of mouth parts, we have the biting and chewing type, that is mandibulate. Now this is where you talk about cockroach. It does biting and chewing, and likewise you can see the function there, that is for cutting, for grinding, and likewise the chewing solid food. On that particular part we are asked 2 questions in one. They say we should identify the type of parts present and likewise state the function of the part. So since we have mentioned those parts, those biting and chewing type, and what it does with those thing, that is for cutting, for grinding, and for chewing solid food. And concerning the diagram, you will see diagram now on your screen. Now for E, they say explain how the structure of the antenna is adapted for its function. The antenna, you've seen the antenna on the screen in the question D. They now say explain how the structure of the antenna is adapted for this function. How is it adapted for the function? And here I make a comprehensive solution so that you have something to write. I said something. I said long and highly flexible for detecting environmental stimuli. Talking about the function of the antenna in the environment, what it does, that is, it is used to detect the environmental stimuli. It may be touch, it may be smell, it may be whatever you call it. Even that of smell has come out in the second one. I said it is covered with sensory hairs sensitive to smell, touch, and humidity. That is why you talk about all those touch. The first one, that's talking about the touch. Now the second one is talking about how it is used to detect smell, touch, and humidity. If you can remember, also we mentioned something like that in the question 1b. When we are talking about the feature, I told you that it is used for detecting smell, touch, and vibration. I believe this one has settled the question number 1. Remember, we have 8 specimens. So the first specimen have been taken care of now. I think question number 2 covers specimen B and C, and it says you should identify the kingdom, phylum, and class of specimen B and C. You know that specimen B is spider and specimen C is frog or toad. Whatever you pick one. You don't write the two, you pick one. So now they now ask us. So the next question will now be, they say I should identify. But both of them, all of them are all animals there. So definitely the kingdom is Animalia. For the issue of spider own is Arthropoda. And for the issue of what do you call it? For specimen C, which is toad, his own phylum is Chordata. That is Chordata. And when you talk about the class of spider is what? Is Arachinda. This class of spider is Arachinda, while the class of frog is what? The class of frog of the class of toad is Amphibian. I take it again. Maybe I should state that for spider alone now, the kingdom is kingdom Animalia, phylum is Arthropoda, and the class is Arachinda. While for toad, his own kingdom is Animalia, Phylum is what? Chordata, and the class is amphibian. For you to have it comprehensively, if you want to write, I have it here comprehensively. I say the kingdom. For specimen B, Animalia, Arthropoda, and Arachnida. That's talking about for specimen B, which is your spider. Whilst for specimen C, which is your frog or toad, the kingdom is Animalia, phylum is Chordata, and the class is Amphibia. You know, when we talk about amphibia, that is, it survives both on land and in water. Alright, leaving that side, I move to questions 2b now. Question 2b says that we should name now question 1 under that, the respiratory organ or method of specimen B and C. When we talk about specimen B, that is spider, what does it use for respiration? And when we talk about toad, what does it use for respiration? I'm very glad to tell us that when you talk about spider use book lungs. It use book lungs for its respiration, while for toad use the skin. You know, the skin of toad or frog is always moist, so that's why we can call it cutaneous respiration. In case you want to write, and let me give you the comprehensive way you can write it. I said the respiratory organ or method, specimen B is book lungs, while specimen C is what moist skin. The skin of the frog or toad is always moist, and that's where the respiration occurs. So that's why I call it cutaneous respiration. Cutaneous respiration. I think we settled that B1. Now B2 said that we should state the type of fertilization found in B and C. You know, when we talk about fertilization, we have two types of fertilization. We have internal, we have external. We talk about the internal, we're talking about those ones that in which the fertilization occurs inside their body system or inside their reproductive system. But when you talk about the issue of external, those are the ones that will lay eggs, and after laying their eggs, maybe the male will now come and pour sperm on it. That is, fertilization occurs outside the body. You can find that one very well in amphibians, and likewise you can also find that one. I think also you can find that one also in a class of fish, but in this question we are limited to amphibians. So for the issue of specimen B fertilization is internal, while that of specimen C is external. For you want to write comprehensively, like I said, you see it here. I said specimen B is internal and specimen C is external. Alright, I'm going to question number 2C now. He said that you should state 3 differences between specimen B and C. State 3 differences between specimen B and C. What's the difference between spider? Thank God I and you, we have seen spider before, and likewise we have seen toad or frog before. So what's the difference between spider and C? And remember also, as a practical, you will see all these things live and direct in front of you. Likewise, you can also bring out the differences. You have many differences, but we are told to mention 3, and likewise I think I will give out 4 differences. Number 1, you need to know you can use the classification, the taxonomy, to differentiate. Likewise, you can use what you are seeing, like your observable pictures, also to differentiate. Is part of it. Your role is just to make the difference between the two of them. So without wasting time, what I have here in my content, I said something that you need to know. Everybody knows that the spider is terrestrial animal. All of us can see spider is terrestrial animal, whether it lives inside the web or stay inside the web, it's still terrestrial animal. But for frog or toad, it is both terrestrial and aquatic. That's why we call it amphibian. Whenever you hear the word amphi, means doer. Amphi means doer. So the first difference I mentioned is that specimen B, and please, and whenever you are making the difference, where I put specimen B and specimen C, that's how you write it. Don't write the name there. Don't write the name of the specimen there. Write it the way I put it, like this. That is specimen B, specimen C. You walk, that's how you be marked. You won't mention the name. Alright. Number 2, I said something that specimen B undergoes internal fertilization. That is, it has internal fertilization. We just said it now. And when you talk about the specimen C, it undergoes external fertilization. And likewise, I use the respiration to differentiate that. Specimen B uses book lung for respiration, while specimen C uses skin or moist skin for respiration. And likewise, I move to the class to pick one of the taxonomy, telling you that here I pick up that the class of specimen B is Sarachinda, and likewise this class of specimen C, which is toad of frog, is amphibian. If we want to also add more to it, we can also talk about phylum. That this one, the phylum of specimen B is Arthropoda, while the phylum of this one is Chordata. Like that, that's talking about the differences. And what about if they ask you about similarities, you know both of them, but they are animals. And you also will pick up some things that they have in common. Both of you continue just pick up the features. All right. Now for the question D, they say should what? Question D is a very interesting one. Question D said you should make a labeled drawing. D1. D1. So question 2D said, or 2D1 said, make a label diagram 6 to 8 centimeter of the dorsal view of the specimen B. And in the dorsal view of the specimen B, you will see the response on the screen now as I'm speaking. Y for D2 said I should draw and label the lateral view of the frog. Yet mention the frog showing only the external features, that is draw and label the lateral view of the specimen C showing only the external features. You can also see diagram on the screen. Now we want to move to the 2E. The 2E1 says state 3 visible external features that distinguish specimen B from an insect. That is you should mention 3 visible external features. What you can see that is external that can distinguish specimen B, which is spider, from an insect. What can you think as a difference, or what can make a difference between spider and insect? You're supposed to, of us, know from the class that but here they are talking about something visible, so you don't need to talk about class again. You talk about the number of legs. You talk about, when you talk about insect, they have wings, but you can never see wings with the spider. Okay, come and see the comprehensive report I gave about that. I said visible external features that distinguish specimen B from an insect are: 1, the body divided into 2 main regions. For insect is 3. For insect is head, thorax and abdomen, but here for spider it's only 2. That is, they are fused together, so that's the reason why they are 2. That's why we have cephalo, thorax and the abdomen. That these ones are fused together instead of having 3. And number 2, when you talk about spider doesn't have antenna, but in the family of insect they have antenna. Alright, another one talks about the possession of 8 walking legs instead of 6. Inside they have 6, but here for spider it has 8 walking legs. And I move to question next. It says you should explain the role of spinning rate, or spinning rate, and how you call it, in the life of the spider. If you can still remember Spider-Man, definitely you know what they want to bring out. What is bringing out the issue of webs? That's what we want to talk about. So they say explain the role of spinning rates in the life of the spider. And here I make a comprehensive report to let you know that it plays a vital role. That this is one that produces the silk thread for building webs. Now the thread that the spider will use to build up the web is produced from the spinneret and making what? An egg sacs and wrapping prey. That's what it does. So now you have known the rule. I repeat, I said to produce silk threads for building webs, and likewise making egg sac and wrapping the prey. Whenever all those housefly, once they are inside the web, they won't have anywhere to go to, so telling you that it's also used to capture the prey. And I move to the F part of the question. I think that should be the last question for specimen A, specimen B, specimen C. Like I said, please do well to watch the video proper. If the video is too long, please make sure you follow, check our description to pick up the next link for the remaining solution and questions. Check our description, but our description under this video, and likewise check the comments that is pinned to this video. It will lead you to where the remaining responses for specimen D, E, F, and G are. It will show you all those places. That is for this D, E, F, and G. You will see their responses in the next video. But in case you don't know the next video, just check the description button. It will take you to the next video or the comment pin to this video. Please do well to always like and share our link. Turn, as I'm speaking, as you are watching right now, always turn on your notification button so that when we are releasing informations or messages or videos or we are live, you are the one to see the video quickly and get your information. And likewise, please do well to subscribe and put your comments in the comment box, what you feel and what you observe about us. All right, here mention 3 visible external features that adapt the specimen C to a dual. And I told us when I was talking about amphibian the other time, when we are talking about the classes, amphi means dual, do 2 things. Amphi, mode of life. 3 visible external features that adapt the specimen C, which is the frog or toad, to amphibious mode of living or life. And likewise, because I want to combine the question together, say I should explain 2 ways in which the skin of specimen C showing only external feature. You call it skin external. So then what do you call for there? All right, let me bring out the response comprehensively. Amphibians adaptation. I said what? They are what? Web hind limbs. Look at it. When you see their legs, they're very muscular. That's what we mean. That is their legs. They are very muscular and it is webbed. That is, they have webbed hind limbs for what? For swimming. That's why you can see them swimming. Now because of that, you can also see such a web limbs like that when you see duck. You will check the foot of the duck, you also see something like that. All right, another one talk about another features. I said moist glandular skin for what? For cutaneous respiration. I told you that they use skin for respiration. And what's that? That is where we talk about moist skin. That's the features, and what it does is that it's used for respiration. And the last one talk about the bulgy eyes. When you see the eyes of toad or frog, that's why this at times it sees all what happens in its environment. Okay, so bulgy eyes with nictitating membrane, that is talking about the covering of the eyes, and what it does that is used for clear vision in water and air. That's why you can see anything in its environment. Frog or toad can see anything in its environment. And lastly, talking about the respiratory functions of the skin. When we talk about the skin, I said that skin remains moist. That is why we call it moist skin. The skin remains moist to allow the evolution of oxygen from air to water. And lastly, I said what? Rich supply of blood capillaries beneath the skin transport gases. That's talking about the role of the skin pertaining to the question that said explain 2 ways in which the skin of specimen C showing only external features. I think with this now we have settled specimen A, specimen B, and specimen C. Now we are going to specimen D, E, and F. And in case, like I told you, if the video is too long, please check the description button. It will take you to where the solution of the remaining questions are.